Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to explore the fascinating origin stories, rivalry, and business strategies behind two of the world's most iconic soft drink brands, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Let's start with Coca-Cola. In the late 1800s in the United States, a military conflict took place, during which many soldiers were injured. Among them was a man named John Stith Pemberton, who happened to be a pharmacist. At that time, medical science was nowhere near as advanced as it is today. After being injured in the war, Pemberton began treating himself. Since he was a trained pharmacist, he experimented with different medicines and compounds to relieve his pain. One of those substances was morphine. Morphine was effective as a painkiller, but it came with a serious downside. It was highly addictive. Over time, Pemberton became dependent on morphine himself. This created a new problem. He had largely recovered from his war injuries, but now he needed a solution to escape morphine addiction. Determined to find an alternative, he began researching again. During his experiments, he mixed extract from coca leaves with a carbonated beverage. At that time, the word cola did not refer to brands like Coca-Cola or Pepsi. It was simply a general term for carbonated drinks in the American market. After consuming this mixture, Pemberton noticed something interesting. It made him feel better, reduced his dependency on morphine, and gave him a sense of energy and relief. That drink later became known as Coca-Cola. In 1892, a businessman purchased the full recipe and commercial rights to the drink, and the Coca-Cola Company was officially formed. Initially, Coca-Cola was marketed as a medicinal tonic, but over time it evolved into a refreshment beverage, enjoyed by the masses. That is the birth story of Coca-Cola. Now let's talk about Pepsi. Pepsi's origin is very different. A pharmacist named Caleb Bradham had a clear goal from the very beginning. He wanted to create a cold drink that people would enjoy drinking, something refreshing, satisfying, and commercially viable. Unlike Coca-Cola, Pepsi was not an accidental invention. It was the result of intentional research and experimentation. After years of testing different ingredients, Bradham created Pepsi Cola. Then came one of the most interesting moments in beverage history: blind taste tests. People were asked to taste Coca-Cola and Pepsi without knowing which one they were drinking. Surprisingly, a large percentage of participants preferred Pepsi. Later analysis revealed why. At that time, Pepsi contained more sugar than Coca-Cola. In blind taste tests, people generally prefer sweeter flavors, even if they are loyal to another brand in real life. Pepsi used this insight brilliantly. Around the same time, global pop culture was exploding. Artists like Michael Jackson, Madonna, and major sports icons were becoming extremely popular. Pepsi did something revolutionary. It signed multiple youth icons as brand ambassadors. This was not common practice at the time. Pepsi's message was clear. Pepsi represents youth, energy, and modern culture. Coca-Cola, on the other hand, positioned itself as a family-friendly, traditional, happiness-driven brand. When Coca-Cola saw Pepsi's success in the blind taste test results, they tried to respond by increasing the sugar content of their drink. This led to the launch of New Coke. However, this turned into one of the biggest marketing failures in business history. Coca-Cola received nearly 400,000 handwritten complaint letters from customers demanding the return of the original formula. At that time, email was not common. These were real letters. People hated New Coke. Eventually, Coca-Cola was forced to withdraw New Coke from the market and bring back the original version. Now comes the most surprising part. Even today, many people believe Coca-Cola is the bigger company, but financially, that is not true. In recent years, Coca-Cola's annual revenue has been around $43 billion. PepsiCo's annual revenue has been close to $90 billion, more than double. Why? Because Pepsi is not just a beverage company. PepsiCo owns Lay's Mountain Dew, Aquafina Gatorade, KFC Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. More than 50% of PepsiCo's revenue comes from non-beverage products, such as snacks and restaurant chains. Coca-Cola, by contrast, still earns the majority of its revenue from beverages alone. To put things into perspective, Elon Musk bought Twitter for about $44 billion. That amount is roughly equivalent to Coca-Cola's annual revenue. But PepsiCo generates nearly twice that. The lesson from this story is simple. Success is not just about having a great product. It is about understanding your audience, positioning your brand correctly, and diversifying intelligently. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful business stories. See you in the next video.